Good morning, everybody, and you're all very welcome to the first Research Bites of the academic session of this year, 21-22. And I'm delighted that this morning, Dr. Marco Garcia has agreed to talk to us about his research and share with us his most recent findings. So Marco is an assistant professor at the School of Agriculture and Food Science, and his research focuses on the utilization of algae and indeed other agri-food byproducts as well. And from these byproducts, he generates novel foods and novel food ingredients. His expertise covers the innovative technologies in order to extract these ingredients, the assessment of their biological properties, particularly using in vitro models, and looking at the chemical composition and the safety of those ingredients for ultimately putting them into food. So I think a very topical area in terms of adding value and in terms of the bioeconomy. So over to you, Marco, whenever you're ready to share your presentation.
Thank you very much, Dolores. I'm just going to share the presentation now. That's it. So thank you very much, Dolores, for this introduction, and Geraldine also for the invitation to open this Research Bites this academic year. I'm just focusing my talk, as Dolores mentioned in the introduction. I work in this area, and this area is really broad, so I'm just going to tailor a few of my experience working with these nutraceuticals, addressing few production and application challenges of these compounds. Overall, my research vision or my research work focuses on algae, can be microalgae, but also seaweed. And we work with different drying and processing technologies to achieve the main products that are currently commercialized in the market today, which are these seaweed or algae pellets that are consumed as supplements in different health stores. But our research goes even further than that, and we also use this raw biomass using different extraction technologies, trying to get out of the biomass different compounds or active ingredients at different levels of purity that we can use for different purposes, including pharmaceuticals or nutraceuticals. So within this overall vision for today's talk, I'm just going to focus on a few of my research experiences on the use of innovative technologies and also in these active ingredients. Working with innovative technologies, I have been focusing on the biomarine industry, collaborating with different researchers all over the world. And from these research experiences, actually, this book was edited this year, compiling the use of innovative and emerging technologies in the biomarine food sector, as these innovative technologies do not have only one use. It can be used from primary production to then generate further products out of the biomass and then even preserve these compounds once they are commercialized. For today's talk, I'm going to mention how we generate nutraceuticals out of the seaweed. So for those of you who are not familiar with how we do this, from the raw biomass, we apply different drying and milling techniques to achieve this powder to facilitate later on the extraction. And these extraction techniques normally involve the use of different solvents. It can be used the use of water, acidic solution, or ethanol solutions, trying to tailor the extraction of different compounds that we're interested in. Then later on, we purify these compounds to the level that we are interested in to then commercialize it as nutraceuticals. And all over these processes, you can use innovative technologies. You can use them during the drying and milling, extraction and purification. And for today, I'm going to focus on a few of our experiences with extraction technologies. The first of these experiences that I'm going to tell here is basically related to the use of ultrasound, microwave, and the combined use of both, trying to achieve Fucoidan extracts from seaweed. This work was performed in Chagas and funded by Science Foundation Ireland. For those of you who are not familiar with Fucoidan is a powerful nutraceutical. It's currently considered in preclinical trials actually as anti-cancer drug, and is only present in brown seaweed. If we could amplify this image of brown seaweed to a cellular level, and we could even amplify even further to the cell wall, here's where we can find this Fucoidan. Fucoidan are polysaccharides that are here in this strong cell wall, binding together really tightly different elements of the cell wall, including proteins, phenolic compounds, and hemicelluloses. So the main aim of this work was to apply different extraction forces here, trying to achieve a release of these polysaccharides from the cell wall to be able to use them as supplements. In the case of the use of ultrasound, we use different conditions. So we use medium, low, medium, and high ultrasound amplitude. And we use also different times of extraction. In the case of the light gray is 2 minutes of extraction, and the dark gray bars represents 5 minutes of extraction time. We can see here the maximum yields of fucoidan extracted from the biomass were approximately 200 milligrams per 100 grams of dry seaweed, which is obviously not a lot. Continuing with the use of microwave, using low, medium, and high power microwave, also during 2 and 5 minutes, we could see that the amount that we were achieving from the biomass was actually increasing a lot, approximately 1.7 grams per 100 grams of biomass. And working even further in the use of these technologies, we designed this machine in the lab to be able to use both independent techniques all together, applying this simultaneously these extraction forces. When we did this, the most important result was that we were achieving approximately 3.5 grams per 100 grams of biomass. If we take this again to a cellular level and to check how is the biomass affected by the extraction, we could see that the raw biomass in these scanning electron micrographs was actually not altered and had a lot of impurities that can be seen in the left-hand side at 1000 amplification. With the use of microwave, we could see a bit of disruptions of the cells. However, the surface is still really clean and with less impurities. And in the case of the use of both extraction forces combined, you can see huge disruption of the biomass that allow the release of these compounds. The main challenges that I think we face when we use these innovative technologies is that these technologies have not been used before, meaning that we need to optimize actually their use for what we want them to use them for. And then we have to also compare the results that we are achieving from these optimized protocols with current industry practices to allow industry to see the benefits there and be able to scale up and take on this technology and put it to use. Working with these challenges, I also want to mention an optimization work done in UCD and funded by SFI. In this case, we optimize the use of ultrasounds alone, ultrasound-assisted extraction from a semi-industrial device to extract different polysaccharides from seaweed. This is how the optimization work looks like. What is more important is the impact of this work. After performing this optimization, we were also contacted by an industry trying to check if they could actually improve their production process of beta-glucans from seaweed. Beta-glucans is a food supplement with really good health benefits. It's a dietary fiber. It has really good properties and benefits for the microbiota in the small intestine. We applied these extraction techniques using the conventional protocol and the same extraction material that the industry were using. We achieved approximately 0.1 grams of this compound per 100 grams of biomass. And when we use this optimized protocol published in that paper, we achieve approximately 6-fold more of this compound. So here you can see a huge impact for industry. And the most relevant detail is that we were achieving this extract in 10 minutes instead of the 32 hours that this traditional protocol took to this industry to generate these levels. And for the second part of the presentation, I'm just going to talk a bit more about my research experience with the active ingredients and the in vitro properties of some of these compounds, tailoring mainly to bioactive peptides. Bioactive peptides are compounds that are not they are present in different proteins and they are not active when they are part of the protein. However, once they are released by different enzymatic properties, by different disruption methods employing mechanics, they start to have health benefits that go beyond basic nutrition And in this case, I'm going to focus on my experience generating a protein concentrate from Imantalia longata. It's a brown seaweed from Ireland. We also perform enzymatic hydrolysis, and these peptides had really strong cardioprotective properties measured with a ACA enzyme. It's an enzyme that once it's inhibited, it lowers the hypertension in humans and other animals. Continuing purifying further this hydrolysis, we could actually see that there were 4 fractions generating this effect. And in these 4 fractions, we identified 48 new peptides from seaweed. We treated these peptides further with different in silico modeling tools to check the bioaccessibility of these compounds, the toxicity, and also the biological properties of all these released compounds after the process of digestion in vitro. The main challenges of this work and working always with natural active compounds are that the compounds tested in vitro can be really can have loads of potential. However, there's huge differences in this activity once this goes to in vivo models in animals, and then even once it goes from animals to humans, there's a huge disparity in these results. This makes it really difficult to make health claims out of these compounds that we are achieving, and there's a huge need to do human intervention studies and also focusing these human intervention studies on different segments of the population. Some compounds can be effective in one segment, but not effective in another one. Within or trying to solve some of these issues, there's actually the new funded project Garcia, microbiota brain access in heart failure. This is a consortium by 5 different countries, Ireland included. From my side, we achieved 1.2 million euros, and is basically focusing on these new ingredients added to the diet to prevent the undernutrition in an older population, more than 70, and also suffering from cardiovascular pathologies, atrial fibrillation, heart failure, or both combined. This project was funded through GPI and the Department of Agricultural, Food and Marine, and we hope to share more promising results soon. I hope this was a brief but overall clear introduction of my research working with natural compounds, mainly focusing on the novel extraction technologies and also how we work with active ingredients, and also clear how we are trying to achieve or actually trying to address these challenges that we are facing in this industry. I want to thank also the funding received from different funding agencies for the different papers that were shown here, mainly from Science Foundation Ireland through BioOrbic, these 2 grants listed here. Also, thank you to GPI and the Department of Agriculture for funding a Garcia project that is going to deliver results really soon as well with natural products, and the Irish Research Council to allow me to continue this working with innovative technologies in the marine industry. I also want to thank my team, because without them, obviously, and without bringing the enthusiasm for research and new ideas, all research and everybody will be stuck. So I want to thank Armin, is a postdoctoral researcher working with Garcia, and my PhDs, Rahel, Alva, and Weihao, working in different aspects of algal biorefinery at the moment. And I want to thank all of you for attending here today, opening this research space. And please, if you have any question, you have my contact details there, and I'm always open for a chat or collaboration. Thank you so much.